let's bring in attorney and legal affairs reporter for the Washington Times, Alex Swoyer. Let's pick up Alex where Brooke left off. He can fight this extradition to New York all he wants, but at the end of the day, he's coming back to New York, isn't he?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. I expect that it'll move smoothly. Usually those governor warrants, they take about 30 days. What we'll probably see is his defense attorney will file a motion contesting either points of procedure, any sort of constitutional questions, something like double jeopardy. That doesn't apply here. And try to fight this. The goal would be delay. But in the end, he will be back in New York.
And when he comes back to New York, the charges he's facing are interesting because in any other state, you'd expect that somebody accused of premeditated murder, which regardless of who did this crime, the video shows it is premeditated. You expect that person to be charged with first-degree murder. That happens in almost any other state, but not in New York. Why? Why is Mangione only being charged with second-degree murder?
Yeah, you're right. Every state varies in how they handle their murder statutes. And in New York, first-degree murder is reserved for certain classifications of murder. For example, the murdering of a police officer. The first narrative that we heard was that this could possibly be a hitman-style killing, and that would have been first-degree murder, murder for hire. Murder related to a kidnapping, torture, that sort of thing. So second-degree murder is what the state has charged it, and that's the intent to kill another and following through with that or killing a third party. Now, something else, I think I just want to note something.
Yeah, sure.
In the second-degree murder statute in New York, there is an exception for any sort of emotional disturbance. You've heard a little bit in the media about the state of mind of the defendant having possibly had a back injury that's caused him to separate himself from friends and family, that this could have been a motivating factor for the killing. That would not reach enough to be any sort of mitigating factor. Usually when we talk about any sort of emotional disturbance, it would be something that happens in the split-second moment, opening the bedroom door and catching your spouse in bed with someone else.
Right.
That would elicit in some sort of a reasonable emotional response. That doesn't apply here.
Really interesting analysis. I actually must admit, I did not know that was the New York law, but it shows the importance of looking up every state's laws because they all differ so much. This case really could come down to Mangione's state of mind. Do you think that outburst yesterday in front of the cameras was a calculated act to set up an insanity defense?
I don't know. I think that he definitely has a message to get out there, though the one fact that we can look at to prove that is when we saw the cameras, he did perform as he did. He also carried on his person, his manifesto. He seems to be outspoken. He wanted to speak out in the courtroom and actually respond to questions. A defense attorney will not want their client to do that. The best thing you can do is remain silent. But since he does seem to have a narrative here that he wants to get out a motive, I think that we'll hear more from him possibly in the future.
Understood. Alex Swoyer, thanks for your insight. We appreciate it.